window to do what we need to do. The following Saturday, I have back-to-back cemetery cleanups at Golden Ridge, which is off of Goddard here on McKinley, and then Oakdale, which is on Telegraph, north of Pennsylvania, from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Golden Ridge, and noon to 2 at Oakdale. People can call my office, or these flyers are on the counter. I shared it on Facebook today. It's on the city website. We also have a lot going on in the city. On Saturday, we have, this Saturday, along with my cemetery cleanup, there is a cleanup opportunity at Heritage Park, and I believe it starts at 9 a.m. That information is on our website too, with Mr. Jim Taylor's information. He can be contacted. He kind of spearheads that too. Also, on Friday, April 28th, at the 23rd District Court, we have Law Day, and that's something that Judge Shackelford spearheads. And last year it was quite a big event, from 9 a.m. until 2:30 p.m. and they've had it in the court parking lot. I'm sure that's probably the same plan. The Taylor Police was there, Michigan State Police, the little police canine unit. I love seeing the dogs, you know. Yeah, so it was really cool. So there's lots going on. Just my recommendation, check the website, because there's the whole month of April was just chock full of fun stuff, and here we are winding up to the end of April. April 29th and 30th, Heritage Park Dining Farm, celebrating spring. Something fun to do with your kids, if you have, or just yourself if you like animals.
And the Little League, Taylor North Little League opening parade is this Friday at Heritage Park at 6 o'clock, and the parade will start at the Junior League World Series area and go to the Sheridan Pavilion, with the ceremony to start at 6:30 p.m.
Thank you.
Councilman Johnson?
Just a couple little things. We also, on my birthday, I volunteered over at Meadows. They had a comedy show, raised $350 for the museum, which is a good thing. And then Monday, the man showed up about the cabinets. I approved the colors. He got them perfect. He's building the bookcase. Once that's done, we'll have it filled with books. Just unbelievable books. And we're going to have a little table area so you can come in and just relax and read. Nice and quiet. So that's coming.
Any further open business of the elected officials? Councilwoman Winton?
One item relating to our last meeting, I just feel necessary to cover, but we had a police command contract that was on our agenda. And I know we can't talk probably a lot of the contract specifics, but a lot of us, when we ran on the premise of public safety and better wages and benefits for police and fire. And I'm not saying you have to agree with every premise of the contract, but I think our resolution is to have a contract. And when we motioned to go in a closed door and it was passed, people didn't come in there to discuss. I think the premise is to communicate. And if you have an issue, if it's like, I don't like this, then say, I don't like this, I would like to see this, or I'm looking at comparables, but to just not pass it and then not go in to discuss it, I just find that's not, people working together, and that was referenced in people's campaigns, is achieved, goals are achieved by all elected officials working together. That's not working together, in my opinion. When you have an issue, is communicating it. What are we going to do? We have people who don't want to go into public safety, right? We know that. We have major incidents happening, scary ones, in our city. I want trained officers. I want people who have been here doing this work and training new ones. I don't want supervisors who don't have the experience to do this work. And again, I'm not saying everyone on here has a right to vote and to vote how they want to vote, but by just voting and not communicating isn't moving us forward. And I don't think it's achieving our goal of public safety, at least not in my opinion. So I just felt necessary to say that. I hope that there's a reconsideration or at least communication on what issues you may have with the contract to administration so we can move forward and ensure sure we have trained officers in the city.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you, Councilwoman Winton. Councilman Ramik.
I'll be meeting with the lieutenant this week, the command. That incident that night, did you know what happened right outside this door?
Well, just,
And I'm not gonna say any more.
state your opinion. I
It's
don't
just-
want to have, through me, right?
Through you. There was an incident that occurred with one of our members, it said right here. Maybe you don't know totally what happened, but I'm sure the chairman would be more than happy to explain what happened with him and the comment he made to Mr. Chairman. I'll let you go with that.
All right. Is there any further open business from the council? None?
Chairman,
Go right ahead.
I wanted to thank Mr. Johnson for bringing food for us for our budget hearings, because they lasted kind of long, and they were, you know, in addition to our regular meetings. And had I thought of it, Tiara, our secretary, Mrs. Swain as well, she got it for us, but, so I thought that was really considerate of you.
And next year, last night, well, it's all like volunteer for one night, and
Yeah.
before Mr. Johnson,
That's all.
it is much appreciated. Thank you, Councilman Johnson, and to our council secretary for taking care of making sure we had some food. All right. Anything else from the council? If not, I'll recognize the 8th member of the council.
Again, for past 6860 Jackson, also opening day is the next day after Little League Parade, so that's on Saturday morning, so we got so excited about that, 'cause my grandson's out there. I downloaded something from the News Herald. It was in the News Herald, I guess, on the 13th, April 13th, but this is dated the 18th, and it's about the Van Born Corridor Business District, nearly a reality. It's written by Dave Herndon, and it says, the Dearborn Heights City Council recently held the first reading of an ordinance to approve the Van Born Overlay District. The city's move puts it just a few weeks ahead of Taylor's officials voting on the same measure on April 18th.
I'll stop you right there. I thought that was pretty presumptuous to have that in a news article before we have put together an agenda and the materials presented to the council. So we will proceed when this council has a chance to review and place it on the agenda. So Van Born Corridor has been talked about for, quite frankly, decades. And so after reading that, I think it gave a heads up of what is coming, because I believe there was either, was it the planning commission or planning commission? So, but I don't believe, I have not seen their recommendations unless, members that are on the planning commission.
Through the chair, I can tell you, maybe Charlie and Mr. Johnson can explain better than me, but basically they've been going, planning commissions have been having meetings. We've been talking about this for a few years now. It did kind of slow down there for a while with the transition of the previous Dearborn Heights mayor. When I came in, I talked to Mayor Bazzi, told him that we were going to continue to move forward, whether, Dearborn Heights could join us or not. Luckily, he was in favor of it, so we're going through our planning commission. They'll make recommendations. I know they had some changes that they wanted to make. Took a little longer than what we expected, but they seem to have got that passed, and I think that will be on the agenda for the next council meeting.
Well, before you cut me off, I was going to read
Sorry,
a
go
little blurb. It said Taylor's Planning Commission approved the ordinance April 5th, putting it on the city council to make the final decision. And I know you haven't received that yet, after you just mentioned that. But I just wanted to say that back in 2017, when I was on council, I was on that committee. I went to many, many meetings. I would still like to be involved in that. So if there's anything that comes up when it comes to the city working on something, keep my name in that, because I still want to move forward with that. I believe we really need that.
Through the chair, I agree. I grew up off of Van Born, so, luckily me and Mayor Bazzi, he corrects me all the time, sorry, Mayor Bazzi, have had good conversations about that. When he was on council last time, he didn't seem to be in favor of it, but we've had many great conversations, and we're going to try to move forward the best we can. We're going to try to work with Wayne County to try to get them to pave that road, because we both feel that that should be the start of, to roll everything else out, and then just come up with ideas how we can do it. Taylor has been doing the trying to incentivize business owners through the TIPA grant, where basically if they want to redo their facade, we will give them up to $15,000 to help beautify that area. But a lot of the businesses are right up against the sidewalk there, so there's only so much you can do with landscaping. So we're going to continue to try to come up with ideas, and I'll definitely keep you in mind as well.
Yeah, I would like to continue with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Please come forward.
Corey Morris, 2562 Canyon. I just had a quick question, and dealing with Heritage Park, I did see there's been a lot of smaller trees with those little stone plaques in front of them being removed, but the plaques are still there. Is there plans to like replant the same trees that were initially there?